What is up, guys? I do hope you're well. My name is Mark, and today we're looking at some more r/am I the butthole. If you're new here, please consider hitting that like, that subscribe, and maybe, just maybe, that notification bell too, as it all truly helps out our channel. And don't forget you can follow us on podcast too now, as well as support the channel either on YouTube membership or Patreon. We have different tiers of membership and all that kind of good stuff. As always, your support is absolutely amazing recently. Thank you so much. You're absolutely amazing people. Never forget that. And with that being said, let's get in to today's stories. Much love, guys. Our first story is from a throwaway account. Am I the arsehole for telling my drywall guy to stop bugging my babysitter? We're doing some house renovations and so workers are in the house. Today, two guys were putting up drywall in the living room while our babysitter is playing with our daughter in the family room while I'm working in my downstairs office. I hear the drywall guy asking personal questions to my babysitter until her answers started to get short and her tone changes. I.e. guy says, "So, where do you live?" And she says, "North of here." "Yeah, but where?" She said, "It's kind of a weird spot." That's when I finally walked upstairs and told him, "What is this? The census? She's watching my kid. Let her be." I thought I did it in a joking manner, but I guess I came off harsher than I intended. My wife promptly informed me that I was an arsehole to the guy and the babysitter had it under control. I get that white knighting is a thing and that I may be out of touch with where I should be putting my foot down, so I leave the verdict to all of you. Am I the arsehole? I think personally the babysitter was in a tricky spot because they're actually working right now, so they have to remain professional. It's not like she can turn around and say, "Look, fuck off, mate," because you know, she'll probably get sacked by you guys, so you probably done her a huge favour there. And if I was the babysitter in that situation and I felt like that, I'd probably been relieved that someone stepped in as well, you know. Especially my boss at the time, I think I'd have found it really helpful, but I don't know. Let's go down in the comments and see what we can see. Alpha Fat Right says, "Not the arsehole and big blessings to you. Your babysitter probably felt obligated to remain polite while working. You are the real MVP. Splinter's Apprentice says, "Absolutely. I didn't take it as white knighting, and especially if your babysitter is a teenager/younger woman, it was likely appreciated. Teenage me certainly wasn't confident enough to shut down creepy dudes, and I would have felt relieved knowing someone who employs me had my back in that kind of way. Don't doubt yourself for a second, OP. Reading as my Zen says, "Not the arsehole. This was the exact right thing to do." And Captain Jeff says, "Not the arsehole. That's creepy. Like better to have said, 'Please don't interrupt my babysitter. She has her hands full of work and needs to be fully focused on my child.' But what you said is fine. And it's certainly not appropriate to have a babysitter fend for herself. If she is working in your home, it is your job to ensure other folks also working in your home respect her and don't act creepy." To which the OP says, "I like that word and thank you for your input." But now I turn it to you guys. What do you guys think of this story? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to vote on the poll in the description for story 1. Our next story is from Gay Lad Throwaway. Would I be the arsehole if I failed a junior's probation period because he's reported me several times to the bosses? This is a weird one. I work in a digital agency. We hired a 19-year-old to pick up and learn how our business works for our digital sector. I'm the manager of the digital department. I have a team of about 8 members. We're a close group as most of us have been working together for over 5 years. I've been here for 8 and I've been with the company since it was only 6 of us. We're now a business of over 70 people. This 19-year-old that we hired is a big client's son. My boss, who is good friends with the client, offered him the job, subject to probation period, without us posting anything online for people to apply. I'm the one that trains him up and I will be the one to approve his probation period. But I'm not sure if he's aware of that, as my boss is the one that hired him. This 19-year-old was meant to start in March, but then lockdown hit, so we pushed it back a month. We thrived during lockdown and thus needed more resource, so we took him on in April. It was challenging training someone through Microsoft Teams, but it was picking up things very quickly. I'd say we spent a good 2 hours a day on a call together. We got on pretty well and I liked him. After the first 2 months, he was fitting in well and all was good. Our digital department had a quiz night a few days ago before we were planning on coming back into the office. Since a lot of the digital guys know my partner, I invited my partner to the quiz. I'm guessing that the new junior didn't know I was gay, as I'm considered very straight passing. This quiz went well and we all had a laugh. Now, last week we were in the office and I immediately got pulled into the HR's room. I know most of the HR people well, and some of us are friends outside of work. Someone had reported me trying to make a pass at them on Microsoft Teams meetings. They were time stamped and it was very clear that it was the junior. I told them that nothing at all happened and I didn't make a pass at all. The HR lady knows me well and knows I'm not into anyone younger than me at all. It was kind of left at that. Yesterday I got called into the HR office again. This time I was reported for the same thing, but I was also reported for leaving the office early on Friday, half hour early, but I confirmed with my boss beforehand. I'm now under investigation for sexual harassment, although my HR representative said I shouldn't worry, as she doesn't think anything will come of it, since I literally haven't done anything. Now, I'm not meant to know who this person is, but I know 100% that's the junior who is reporting me. My HR friend heavily hinted to me. This is his last week of probation. A lot of the digital guys aren't fond of him, and I can fail his probation based on failure to work collaboratively. But he's a pretty good worker. I'm not worried about the sexual harassment investigation since I have nothing to hide. Would I be the arsehole for terminating his probation? Edit, a colleague has found the junior's Twitter, same username as his Instagram and same DP, where he has stated multiple homophobic tweets. One that was posted a week ago seems possibly directed at me. This has gone into my document which I will be showing to my boss on Thursday. I have asked for the HR rep that is handling the case to join. I'm feeling a lot better about the situation as I feel like it will work out the best for me. Edit 2. So the title is stupid. I apologise for that. It definitely makes it seem like I'm failing him purely based on him going against me. Terribly worded. Oh wow. I mean, if you definitely 100% know that this guy is targeting you because you're gay, then absolutely that's not on. And if he's causing friction between the team, then you don't want that as part of your team anyway. But yeah, the gay thing is a big thing. If he's homophobic, then yeah, get him the fuck out of there straight away, you know. But we'll go into the comments and see what we can find. Running with Cookie says, not the arsehole. Accusing people of actions they didn't commit is definitely bad for group cohesion. Personality clashes with digital guys adds to it. A string of numbers says, and quotes, accusing people of actions they didn't commit is definitely bad for group cohesion. And then says, exactly, this reeks of homophobia and proves he is willing to lie and abuse company processes for his own ends. And even if you could get in trouble for giving this as a reason, I'd definitely recommend you stay silent on these details. They are still very good reasons. Not the arsehole. Then the OP replies, it's just so strange though. It does seem to result to homophobia. He was cool and fine with me before the quiz. We shared interest in weightlifting, gaming, etc. Told him I'm into woodwork too, and he was asking me tips on the best varnishes for his furniture, etc. I know I don't give off the gay vibe at all, but as if there's one thing seems to be the issue. I've, thankfully, never experienced homophobia in my life before, and never would have expected it from someone so young either. And now I turn it to you guys. What do you guys think of the situation? Do you think the junior is homophobic and that's why he's doing this, or do you think there could be possibly another reason? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to vote on the story in the description for story 2. Our next story is from New Hair, Am I the Arsehole? Am I the arsehole for cutting off the majority of my hair without letting my boyfriend know? Pretty much my whole teen and adult life, I, 23 female, have had long hair. For the last 2 years I had waist long hair. It looked pretty, but it was so much work. My boyfriend was very vocal about his love for my hair. So last Friday, I was booked in for a haircut. I planned on cutting off maybe 5 to 10 centimeters. My boyfriend was happy with that, but then my hairdresser asked if I'd ever considered cutting it collarbone length, as she thought it would look very cute on me. I hadn't, but at that moment she said it, I knew I was ready for a change and told her to have at it. It turned out beautifully and I am in love. Washing my hair is easy and it feels so healthy and looks really nice. My boyfriend, however, was not happy at all. He pretty much cracked the shits when he saw it. He said I should have warned him and that I said I would only cut a little bit off. I told him I didn't know myself and didn't think I should have to message him while my hair is getting cut to get permission or a warning. He's been making comments on it ever since and I think it's getting ridiculous. I look amazing with my new haircut, for fuck's sake. The way you talk about your boyfriend and the hair, he sounds almost obsessive by it, like it's his. I'm going to have to say not the arsehole in this one, because basically it's your hair, you do what the fuck you like with it. Maybe a little pre-warning to him that, like, as soon as you got out of the shop, give him a text like, I've cut my hair. Probably more than you're expecting, be warned. But if you don't like it, then that's your problem, you know. But let's have a look at the comments to see what we can find. Blazing App 965 says, fuck no, you're not the arsehole. It's your hair and you can do whatever the hell you want. Fair enough, it might take him a moment to adjust, but making comments isn't cool. And this reaction for shoulder length, it's not like you shaved it all off. I hope you don't let it get to you. I bet you look friggin' amazing. Edit, okay, I was hyped up from watching too many Brad Mondo vids when I wrote this, so let me add things. Yes, preferences are fine, everyone has them. I don't see that being an issue, but I don't think personal preferences rule the life of your SO though. And OP had the same waist length hair for 2 years. She's clearly already been very considerate of his preferences about her length of hair for a long time. You're actually allowed to make decisions for yourself. Sometimes that can mean ignoring someone else's preferences over your body to make yourself happy, and honestly, that's actually fine. Enthupatani says, I don't know if I got your name right, and quotes, he said, I should have warned him. Unless you came with a newborn with a new car, or I don't know, something similar, he is massively overreacting. Not the arsehole, rock the short hair. And there's a couple of other posts below where, you know, usual Redditors going, oh, this deserves breaking up, you should split up with her. You know, I think that's a bit too much in this situation. But you do what the hell you want with your hair in the end. And now I turn it to you guys. What do you guys think of this story? Let me know in the comments below. And don't forget to vote on the poll in the description for story 3. Our next story is from Throwaway Mummy's Boy. Am I the arsehole for being disgusted my boyfriend slept in the same bed as his mother? I, 17 female, have been dating my boyfriend, 19 male, for just over a year, and it's been an amazing relationship so far. His mother, 52 female, has always been lovely to me. She's the type of woman who you'd actually want as a mother-in-law. He's always been very close with her. He will still kiss her goodnight and hug her when he says goodbye. I never really thought too much of it until recently. Last week his father, 55 male, passed away from a very aggressive cancer, only 4 months after being diagnosed. His mother obviously took this very hard. My boyfriend told me the night he passed away, she cried the whole night and didn't want to be left alone. My boyfriend decided it would be okay to let her sleep in his bed because she didn't want to sleep in her bed on her own. When he told me, I was disgusted and furious. I told him I don't want to see him for a while because I had to decide if I could still be with someone who had done that. I was talking to one of his friend's girlfriends who told me I was being dramatic and that it wasn't big of a deal. Now I'm having second thoughts about if I should leave him over this or not. Am I the arsehole here, or am I being reasonable? Oh dear. Wow, now let me tell you, as most of the people on this channel will know, I've been going through similar things. My mum passed away from cancer 2 years ago. My father's going to die probably within the year from cancer, an asbestos related cancer, which is really aggressive and stuff. But I also give my dad a kiss. I give him a cuddle whenever I leave him. I say I love you, and grief fucking hurts. So you judging your boyfriend from comforting his mum who's grieving so hard right now, and to let her sleep in his bed, what the fuck's wrong with that? What are you so jealous about it for? You know, it really pisses me off. And if I was in the boyfriend's position, I'd dump your ass right there and then. I mean, the lack of fucking empathy in your post. When you just said last week his father passed away from a very aggressive cancer, and his mother is obviously taking it very hard, and you even say that in your post, man. And I know OP is only 17, but she's got a lot of growing up to do. One day she's going to realise that she wants to do this exact same thing. To have a cuddle with her mum, their dad, comfort them in any way they can. And hopefully she'll look back on this and realise the lack of empathy she had in this situation. But we'll take a look at the comments below and see what we can find. Minsora says, you're the arsehole. Ew, you wanted to comfort your mother who just lost her husband to a horrific disease. Oh my god, perv. That's you. Your boyfriend lost his father and his mother lost her husband, and that's where your brain went. Reflect on yourself and reflect hard. Sweet P3112 says this, and you're deciding if you should leave him. Let him find someone with at least a shred of empathy. Pugly Dom says, you're the arsehole, hugely. Would you have said the same if her daughter had got into bed with her grieving mother? You seem to be sexualizing it, as that is the only way that this was disgusting. If you said your boyfriend regularly sleeps in the same bed as his mother, I would understand the concern. But here, hardly. He sounds like a caring son she is lucky to have. I'd be more surprised if he wanted anything to do with you after this. Psychophilia says, I was wondering the same and asked about it because I spent the night with my mother in the same bed when my dad died because neither of us wanted to be alone, and somehow everyone thought it was great we spent some time together comforting each other. But this poor young man is disgusting. Queen of Spook says, you're the arsehole, you've been together with him for over a year. His dad dies, he comforts his mum, then his girlfriend gets mad at him instead of comforting them and doing what you can to help. I lost my dad this year and I'm 20, and I did the same thing with my mum. Holy shit, this one triggered me. What do you guys think of this story? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to vote on that poll in the description for for story 4. Our next story is from What You Were. Am I the arsehole for adopting a puppy then wanting to give it back because we have a newborn baby and other animals? Long story short, I found a puppy at work, had to get it taken to the vet. The vet gave it to the local animal shelter. I checked in on the puppy via phone and inquired about it. 72 hours later, no owner was found and I adopted him. Now context, my wife and I have a 2-month-old newborn baby. The puppy is the same age. We also have 2 8 to 9-year-old cats and an 11-year-old dog at home as well. I was really excited about adopting a puppy at first, and my wife got really excited too. We picked out names, got supplies, got toys, etc. Once we brought him home, I think the romanticism about it wore off for me almost immediately. Don't get me wrong, the little bugger is cuter than hell, but he bites and has multiple accidents in the home, even though we were diligent with potty breaks, and our older dog doesn't really enjoy him, and I think she's jealous. Our cats are also less than enthused. Then we have our newborn baby, who is also a handful, requires a lot of attention, and I'm a bit worried that this is all going to stress me out too much. We also don't have really any friends or family nearby who can come over and help with the baby or the puppy. I spoke with my wife about this, and I told her I think I messed up, and that I might want to see if the shelter will take him back. She got kind of upset with me and said, well, I just don't think it's the right to adopt the pet and then give it back. I don't think she's wrong, but she's kind of making me out to be a bad guy. I admit that maybe I was a little too quick on the trigger, that I think I was in love with the idea of my kids and this dog being the same age and them growing up together. I see now that was a bit foolish of me and I should have thought this through a bit more. So Reddit, am I the arsehole for recognising my mistake and wanted to give this puppy back so we'll go to a family that can give him more attention? Cheeky little reverse psychology question at the end there. I think the main issue here is that you knew what your house was already like full to the brim with animals and humans, and you still decided that you was going to adopt it. You know, there's just some flawed logic in there which I don't quite get, that you decided, you know, you got cats, dogs, a baby, and you decided, yeah, let's get another dog. This is a great idea at the time. And then as soon as you get home you regret it. You know, it just doesn't make sense, and it's so not fair on the puppy. But I also have to say, at the same time, yes, give it back, because, you know, it's going to grow up untrained in a bad environment, so it's not going to do the dog any favours growing up in that environment either. But yes, I definitely think you are the arsehole in this situation, but do give the dog back, for fuck's sake. And please just learn from this. Now let's go down in the comments below and see what we can see. No Sushi Today says, you're the arsehole, your baby and all the other animals just didn't suddenly appear when you brought the puppy home. Teeny Gecko says, you're the arsehole, your wife is right. It's not right to adopt a pet and then give it back. Nefariousness Far 0874 says, you're the arsehole, babies are hard work. Would you give that away? Your wife is right. Stop being a lazy ass and the pup will settle soon. Lenny as a bad cat says, you're the arsehole. Seriously? Too bad, buddy. This is what you signed up for. Daisies and Daffodils replies to that. Huh? The puppy is a living, breathing thing, not a punishment for irresponsibility. He should give the dog back so it can find the right home, not force it to stay in a home where it's not wanted. And finally, Just a Big Nerd says, okay, listen, you're the arsehole for adopting the puppy on a whim with an infant and several other animals in the house. That is irresponsible and wrong, but please do give it back, because you cannot keep a dog in a home like this. I'd argue it's more unfair to the puppy to keep it in conditions where it won't be properly trained and taken care of, just to give it back to the shelter. And that was kind of my opinion in that story, you know. The guy is definitely the arsehole in the situation for what he's done. I mean, to just want to give it back like that after taking it and knowing your family situation. But at the same time, you know, it is unfair to keep the puppy and raise it in an environment where it's not going to be looked after properly, not going to be trained properly, and who knows what might happen, you know. So yes, I turn it to you guys for the final time. What do you guys think of this story? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to vote on the poll in the description. Once again, guys, thank you very much for being here. I hope you did enjoy today's stories. If you did, please consider hitting that like, subscribe, and maybe that notification bell too, and maybe watching another video which is on the screen right now. Thank you very much for the time out of your day, guys, and I will see you in the next one. Much love, guys.